Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So make sure that you guys are viewing on your computers. It's easier that way. So you have access to the webinar and the chat box. Another thing I recommend you guys is have a charger, because I would hate for your computer to die, and have, snacks, comfy clothes, some wine, whatever floats your boat. And most importantly, please have a pen and paper, just in case there's anything that I say that sticks out to you that you want to write down and take notes for. Okay, so I am going to share my screen with you guys. And when I do this, make sure that your quality is set to the highest it can be. Alrighty, so this webinar is 3 ways for you guys to elevate your personal brand, and I'm super excited, and I thank everybody for coming today, and hope you guys benefit greatly from this. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So if you guys had seen me post on Twitter or on my Facebook, I mentioned I'm collabing with Glam Bam, and this is technically a pre-collaboration because Glam Bam is actually a membership site, and I wanted to have a webinar and give you guys this information just in case you guys decided not to sign up with Glam Bam. But I really do recommend you do, because Glam Bam is a great, great, great community for women of color who are looking for an accountability partner, want to meet other like-minded women, want to set goals. It's just a really great community, and I'm a part of it, and I have a profile, and I really love it. And I'm pretty sure the leader, which her name is Jamara, she's actually going to come in later for this webinar. So if you see her, introduce herself in the chat box at any time. Feel free to say hi to her. So if you guys want to catch another webinar from me with the workbook and access to me kind of as a mentor, make sure you guys sign up for Glam Bam. And so Glam Bam is just basically, like I said before, it's a membership site for pre, present, and post-grad women who want clarity and to live a fulfilled life. You get self-awareness, inspirational content, a network of women, and basically an accountability partner. And so when you sign up with Glam Bam, you get your own personal profile. So you get to set a bio, make statuses, set a picture, and update all your information. So it's really cool because it takes that social media aspect. You have a Glam directory, which is basically access to all the other girls. You get access to mentors and internships. And lastly, you get really great inspirational content, which is just blog posts that relate to fulfilling your life and everything that you want to get out of it. So first off, I would like to say that you are in the right place if you're a college student who's trying to kind of identify their personal brand. You've heard about personal branding, you really want to know what it is, but you're not too sure where to start. You want to merge your passions and talents with your career goals, because it used to be like everyone worked their 9 to 5. They either just went through the motions and they hated it, and they came home to their passion. And now we're in a time where we can really merge what we love in with our careers. And to even further that, we can turn our passions and talents into our careers. And your personal brand really helps you do that. And also, you're in the right place if you kind of get jealous and inspired by other girls' Instagrams. Here are a few girls that I love to follow on Instagram. And I want to say a disclaimer, I'm fully aware that, pictures don't necessarily portray people's current life status, but I just can't wait until, a few years later and my Instagram is actually pictures of, my nails, and actually pictures of me with a glass of wine with the New York skyline behind me, and not pictures that I take from Tumblr and Pinterest and put on my Instagram. Like, how cool would it be if, 3 years later, you got people from high school looking at your Instagram like, she is doing the dang thing. So you're kind of in the right place if you can't wait for your Instagram to be like that as well. You're also in the right place if you want to land your dream job or internship. And lastly, if you want to expand your personal brand so that it starts working for you. So by the end of this webinar, you'll have 3 new ways to elevate your personal brand, whether it's existing or not. So everybody has a personal brand. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, everyone has a personal brand. So you can take these tips that I give you today and start implementing them into your life, and then go backwards and identify your brand. Or if you've already kind of identified your brand, you can start using these tips. So it doesn't matter where you are. You're going to find out why identifying your personal brand is important and the key benefits. You're going to get to know me a little bit better and have a new internet best friend, so we can get closer from this experience. Or maybe there's someone in the chat box that you're just really feeling it and you want to connect that way. You're also going to inside scoop on my email course. And I know that the 3 girls that I saw in here earlier have all taken my course. I want to say thank you for that. And if anybody else comes in later, I'm going to be looking out for y'all to, share some love for the course in the chat box. And lastly, at the end of the webinar, you guys are going to be able to join me on a Q&A about anything. So you can ask me about stuff related to the blog. You can ask me things related to my love life, ask me questions about your school, anything. Just you can ask me anything, because my blog, it talks about girl talk, and I'm here to help. So if you have something off the wall that you want to ask, feel free. And also, you guys can do brand audits. And brand audits are basically where you guys link below your social media or a blog or any type of website, and I'll go in and kind of give you a quick little tough love review, things that I think you should change, things to make your site better. So that's at the end, so stick around for that. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me, just my quick little story, so I can establish your credibility, so you don't think I'm just on this train for fun and I'm just talking out my butt. So I'm going to tell you guys the story about how I first started investing in myself, what my life looks like now, and then kind of like my personal goals and stuff with life. So I first invested in myself in 2015, July 2015, and I invested $1,300. So before y'all are like, what the hell, Micah? Nobody has $1,300 just lying around. Let me tell you. So I found this girl's Instagram. It was a business Instagram account, and I was obsessed with the graphics and the images and the pictures. And after, shamelessly stalking, I found her actual Instagram. And so I went on there and I just followed her and I just stalked her heavily. And I was like, I just love who this woman is. And she did branding, she did graphic design. And so at this time, I had absolutely no idea about HTML, CSS, Photoshop, WordPress, absolutely no idea. I've never even touched or even thought about any of that. And so she had announced that she was going to have an academy where she accepts 20 girls, and there was about 200 women who signed up, and she's going to teach 20 girls everything she knows. And I'm kind of like, okay, why not? Like, what could I lose? All I could get was turned down. So I fill out the application and I get accepted into this academy, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, this is so cool, because there were people who were CEOs of known companies, people with businesses, and I'm just this 19-year-old girl in college. Like, why was I accepted? So I went and I realized I was accepted into the academy, and then I was like, I gotta pay for this. I have to pay for these classes. And so luckily enough, the previous month before the classes started, I was babysitting. So I had made $1,000, and I got some family and friends to give me the other 300. So I took a Photoshop 1 class, a Photoshop 2 class, and how to design a website from scratch. Those are the classes I took from her. And she is amazing. Her name is Megan Ward. If you guys want to look her up, she's crazy successful. She's on her way to becoming a self-made millionaire. She's had her work featured in Times Square. She's had some of her design work, and she had her design work in the September Vogue issue last year with Beyonce on the cover. And she just got one of her clients brands into Target. And lastly, she went to this event in Washington, D.C. called the Rise Movement. And she was on the panel with Karen Civil. I don't remember her first name, but I think it's like Akia Naturals or something like that, the hair company, all on a panel with them. And I have her as my mentor, and I got to learn from her. And she really kind of taught me everything. And so from then, in September, from all the skills that I learned, I created She Is Valiant, September 18th of last year. And that's kind of the first time I really like put myself out there. And then later on, in December, I kept learning Photoshop and WordPress, and I started my own design company where I was able to help female entrepreneurs with logos and branding and web design. And after that, the ball just kept rolling. I really liked that I was doing all of this stuff for me, and I was seeing these amazing results from it. And so after really investing in myself, I was able to start 4 businesses that bring in money for me. With my design business, as of today, my design business started in March 2016. As of today, I have made $14,530 in profit. And I'm not saying this to brag, but I'm saying like this really came from me honing in and saying, you know what, I'm going to start investing in myself, investing in my brand. And so at the time, that $1,300 was like, oh my God, this is the most money I've ever had to myself. And I'm not using it on anything leisurely, but I've made it back in tenfold. I was able to build a blog that reaches over 2,000 girls from all over. I was able to pay for my own car in cash. I bought my own apartment and paid for all of my furniture. I've seen Beyonce. I have a mentor who's on her way to being a millionaire. And so I've been able to do all of these amazing things at 20, at 19, 20, and now 21. And these are things that I've done. These aren't anything that I'm doing right now, or that, was getting ready to happen in the future. And so I love teaching, I love helping, and I love seeing women be empowered. And so when girls come to my blog, come to my Instagram or on my Twitter, I want them to be inspired. And I want to give girls the confidence to do things that they're afraid to do. Whether it's, finally get the courage to start a blog, ask that guy out on a date, take that new job, whether it's public speaking, whatever it is. I want them to be like, yo, Micah, she's 19, 20, doing all of this stuff, because these are things that I didn't think I'd be doing until 24, 25, and I'm doing this at 19 and 20. And it's like, what in my mind told me that you have to be graduated from college with a man and old and working a job, a grown-up job, to be able to achieve the success that I've been able to achieve? Because I'm telling you, if you came to me January 2016 and was like, Micah, you about to see Beyonce from the 6th row, you gonna have a mentor who's on her way to be a millionaire, you gonna buy your own car, like, if you told me this, I'd have been like, quit playing, that's not gonna happen. And so I kept getting questions like, how are you doing what you're doing? And when I really honed in, it kept circling back to me investing in myself and identifying my brand and finding ways to implement and elevate my brand and myself, so that I was doing all these amazing things. And I'm like, I got to share this with people. I want everybody in this webinar to be able to start living a life that they love. So that's a little bit about me. So I hope you guys, got to know a little bit more about me. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat box below. I don't have access to the chat box right now since I'm on the PowerPoint, but I will respond to any questions or any comments that you guys have later on. So I want to say that identifying your personal brand helps you lay your foundation, build an online community, land your dream internship, grow your professional network. And that's something that's huge, because it's really about, the saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. I'm telling you, that is key. And networking is a huge, huge thing that has played a huge part in my success. People love telling you who they know. So if someone can be like, oh, you're interested in public relations, I have a friend in Los Angeles who has her own firm, let me hook you up. Because people love, people are egotistical and they love to let you know that they have the hookup. And it's like, cool, brag about yourself, but you're hooking me up at the end of the day. It allows you to put yourself out there in the digital space. You can start a blog or a business, become a brand ambassador. So think about it like the Instagram famous people. Their personal brand is allowing them to get $20,000 from Fashion Nova to say, "Oh, I love these jeans." So that's how they finessed and worked their personal brand. It allows you to get a higher paying job, earn more clients or readers, and establish credibility. And one thing that I want to mention is that her name is Lauren Grainer, I think is her last name, from Shark Tank, and she's worth $50 million. And she was in an interview and she was talking about what makes companies successful. And she had mentioned that you need to hire character and train skill. So basically what she's saying is like, hire someone with a strong personal brand, because you cannot train a bomb personality. You know what I'm saying? You cannot train that, but you can train me how to run the copy machine. You can train me how to file these papers in your weird little filing system, but you can't train someone to have the personality that they have. So I just want to say that your personal brand can save you when corporate America screws you over and when your degree doesn't. And that's facts. My dad is a prime example. He studied, he got his degree in psychology, and he has a great personal brand, great networking skills, and now he's like the vice president of transportation all over Kansas City. And it's like that has nothing to do with his degree, but he's branded himself in a way that people respect him, and he has this like six-figure paying job. I'm excited for Christmas. This six-figure paying job based off his personal brand, because it has nothing to do with his degree. But he is very, very qualified. Let me get that out there. He has sales work and all that stuff. So let me just put that out there. So for those who don't know, personal branding is basically how other people perceive you. It's the public's perception of who you are by the things you do, the things you say, what you wear. It's taking your personality, your characteristics, your passions, and your values all in one and making it marketable. It's basically stripping you from your physical. So if you took away your eyeballs, your nose, your fingertips, your lips, your teeth, your toes, all of that, and you just had your personality and your brain, and that was it, would people still mess with you? I had to stop myself from cussing. Would people still mess with you heavy? You know what I'm saying? Would people still like you for you? And that's what personal branding is. And you want to make sure that how you perceive yourself and how people perceive you are pretty consistent and pretty equal, because that's where the biggest brand confusion is. If you're wondering like why people aren't reading my blog, why people aren't liking me, why aren't people connecting with me, it's because maybe how you think you're coming off isn't how people are seeing it. So that's one thing that you want to make sure is super strong and super good with your personal brand. And another thing that people don't know about personal branding is it's really not about you. You're identifying yourself for your audience. So that's something you need to keep in mind, because at the end of the day, personal branding is your perception. So tip number one into elevating and slaying your personal brand is purchase a domain. So you're probably looking at me like, girl, what? But let me explain. Purchasing a domain makes it just real. It makes it like, okay, I'm not playing games anymore. You have a domain. And so even if you don't want to be a blogger, that's completely fine. You don't need to be a blogger or an aspiring blogger to have a domain. You can have a domain set up for a portfolio, a resume, or just a personal site where people can find out who you are. Because for all those people who don't know what a domain is, right here, it's what you type in here is a domain. So sheisvaliant.com is a domain. Google.com is a domain. Instagram, forever21.com is a domain. And so purchasing that really allows you to take control of you in the online space. So you're probably like, well, I have an Instagram, I have a Twitter, I have a YouTube, I have all this stuff, but it's not yours. It's not. So it's like, so let's do Twitter for an example. I have a Twitter account. That's me in the online space. Woo! No, Twitter is like, all right, Twitter's like, I got 80% of this deal and I'm giving you 20%. And so basically what I'm saying is if your account gets deleted on Twitter, or if Twitter's like, you know what, we've made enough money, Twitter just vanishes, all the connections you've made, everything you've done on Twitter is gone. There's no way for people to access you via Twitter anymore. Same thing with anything. So if you have your own website, people can still have access to you. Let's say all social media is like, you know what, we're done. People can still go to your website and still have access to you, still have access to your brand and what you have in the digital space. For example, Vine, if you guys don't know, is shutting down. So those people who are Vine famous, they're freaking out because they're like, I built my career off of being, you know, Vine famous. What am I going to do now? And so if they, you know, were strategic, and I hope a lot of them were, and they got their own domain and started branching out so people could be like, oh, I really like this person, I'm going to follow them on their site. So you're not just stuck to one thing. So that's the first thing I recommend you guys do. Even if you just purchase the domain and don't use it for 6 months, a year from now, I hope you use it before that, but it just kind of makes things a little bit more serious. And a domain is $12.99 from GoDaddy. Other hosting and domain sites are like Bluehost, Namecheap, Hootsuite. I think that's what it's called. But getting a domain is something that I say is very, very key. And it makes it super serious, and you're allowed to take control in the online space. Tip number 2 is that you need to learn and become proficient. This is key. So this may be something that you want to write down. You want to learn and become proficient in a tech-related skill. I'm going to give y'all a few seconds to write that bad boy down. Learn and become proficient in a tech-related skill. Now, I want to tell you guys that the tech industry is booming. It's huge, and it's undersaturated. And I think like the lowest salary that you can get in a tech-related degree is like $80,000. They're paying people 6 figures in the tech industry. And I'm not telling you guys this because I want you to get into the tech industry. I'm telling you this because we are a tech moving nation. We are tech. So learning and becoming proficient in a tech-related skill that is not, here's the second part of this, Jim, that is not Microsoft Office, and that is not social media. Those aren't going to make you stand out, because if you think about it, the majority of our generation that we're going to be competing with in the workforce, we all know how to do Microsoft Office, so Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint. We all know how to do that. We all know social media, if not one, if not all of them. I know how to use all of them. I'm not ashamed, but that's not going to make you stand out, because what's crazy is that now on a resume, you can put Twitter as an expertise. You can put social media as a skill. And it's crazy because if you think about it, this is just something we do subconsciously. We don't even realize that we know all these things, and people who are older than us, they don't know or want to deal with making statuses, making tweets, hashtagging, mentioning. They don't know all that stuff. And this is stuff we just do like it's nothing. And so so people are getting hired. Like there are jobs now in 2016 called social media manager, and your job is to tweet, make a post, respond to people, and track analytics. And so if you and another girl are going head and head at a job, and on your resume, you both have social media as an expertise, you both have Microsoft Office as a skill, what is going to make you stand out? It's going to be that tech-related skill. So I'm going to show you guys some tech-related skills that could work for this. So I'm just trying to refresh the chat box on my phone just to make sure if anyone said anything. So tech-related skills could be something like WordPress, Squarespace, learning Google Analytics. Super easy to learn that. HTML and CSS, Code Academy is completely free. Photography. Now, I'm not saying everybody knows how to click a camera and take a picture, but I'm talking about knowing all the aspects and settings on a camera. Something as if you know iMovie and Final Cut Pro, that is a tech skill, because not everybody knows that. I don't know how to use that, and that's something that can set you apart from someone, especially like Mel and Bree. You guys did, you're in the field as well. That's a skill that if me and, like, let's say me and Mel, let's say, or me and Bree, we were going head and head, and we both had social media and Microsoft on our thing, and you had Final Cut Pro, that could land you the job and not land me the job, because that's a skill that's really beneficial in the PR world now. Another skill would be learning an email marketing system. So something like MailChimp, ConvertKit, and any other email marketing systems. Learning Adobe, any Adobe software. So Photoshop, Lightroom, InDesign, Illustrator, Dreamweaver, anything that's going to set you apart from people. Learning how to, like, if you know how to do audio stuff, like cut music, lay music, do podcasts, those are tech related skills that are going to set you apart from people. So when choosing when choosing to learn and become proficient in a tech related skill, one, make sure that it's a skill that you actually have interest in doing. And two, make sure that it's a skill that's relatable to your career field. So let's say, for example, you're a dancer. Something that actually may be beneficial could be you knowing how to edit photos or how to edit movies. Yes, you're kind of like, what does it have to do anything? But let's say you guys have a dance photo shoot, or you want to cut and create a scene for a piece or something. Your skills could come in handy, and that's going to make you stand out from other people. So that's something that I really think is going to make people different, because I know a lot of girls in the PR industry, they say you need to become good with social media, and you need to have a blog, and you need to know how to research. But I know that a lot of people, like all the tech skills I told you, besides Final Cut Pro and all the way photography, I know every single one of those things. And I know this because I have a business, I do design, so I needed to know those things. But those things are going to really help me stand out when I'm trying to get a job. So in the chat box below, if you guys have a tech related skill that I didn't mention and you want to see if that counts, drop that in the chat box below. Or if from any of the skills that I mentioned, let me know which one you're interested in learning and how you think that will benefit your industry and how that'll make you stand out. So go ahead and put that in the chat box below. And the last, the last tip I have, I wanted to add is it a GIF or a GIF into my PowerPoint, but PowerPoint is old school. So I got to go like this and click play. And so it kind of cuts the fun out of the GIF. But so if you guys are SpongeBob fans, just like me, this is from the episode where SpongeBob and Patrick do pretty patties. And these are basically Krabby Patties that are like colorful. And they were so successful that they had so much money, and they were like, we tried burning it, we tried burying it, now we're just giving it away for free. And Mr. Krabs was like, he was just like, what the heck? And so I want y'all to have so much money and so much income that y'all can just be like, you know what, here, you take it, take this money, take this $20 bill. And so I put this picture in here because it really relates to tip number 3. And tip number 3 is having multiple streams of income. And so I'm not saying that you guys need to work 17 different jobs or that you need to have 17 different consistent incomes. But what I'm saying is you don't want to just have one solid income, because that's like putting all of your eggs in one basket. It's like, no, you don't want to do that. It's like having your favorite pair of jeans that you wear a little bit too much, a little too often, but nobody knows. But then you have, that dark wash, the jeans with the holes in them, and the jeans that lift your booty up on the back burner that you pull out occasionally. And that's kind of the same concept. You want to have that one consistent stream of income. So whether it pays you weekly or it pays you biweekly, you want to have that done. So let's say you have 2 jobs that are consistent. That's 2 streams of consistent income. But you can have something as simple as your main job. So let's say you work at a retail store. Let's say you work at Charlotte Russe. Every 2 weeks, you get that paycheck. And so you're like, okay, what can I do for another stream of income? Something else that's, popping in for me. So think about what you like to do and what people ask you to do, and how you could add a price point to it. So for example, I have a friend, she works at a bank, and she does makeup. She does faces, and she's good. She worked at She worked at Sephora, got certified, and now she works, I think, at banking. And so on the weekends, she charges $40 for a face. So, you know, let's say it's between the weeks where she gets paid. She does 2 faces on Saturday. That's $80. Boom. Just like that. And it's, you know, it doesn't have to be consistent all the time, but just knowing that you have income popping in and surprising you, it's like Christmas Day. Like this morning, I woke up and I saw a PayPal notification, and it said that from Spreadshirt, I got a notification for $40. So Spreadshirt is where I host my t-shirt shop. So I just made $40 in commissions this morning from girls who purchased my shirts. And so like it was so great because I woke up this morning, like I got paid on Wednesday, had to pay rent, had to pay my bills. So I was just like, well, why is all my money going? Like, why I gotta be so responsible? And then to wake up and see that I got $40 when I wasn't expecting to get $40, it was just amazing. And it was just like, I was like, that's why you need multiple streams of income, because it's nice to just have extra money coming in when you don't know it. So my sister, if she's still in here, Reagan, she works at a frozen yogurt place. That's her consistent income. And she loves photography. And so she started out doing it free. And now she does photo shoots. So she does senior photos, wedding photos, engagements. I don't know the band. The band, like, is it 1975, 1995? Reagan, if you're still in here, write the name of the band below. But they're like a big, big band. And she was able to do shoot photography for the concert and made money from it. So try to figure out things that you enjoy doing. Like if you love planning and you love tech and you love weddings, make a do-it-yourself wedding planning binder and sell it on Etsy. Or sell it on bridal sites. That's a quick way to make money. It's not, it's not guaranteed every 2 weeks, but it can pop in and out. And so I really recommend this because this is something I'm doing. All of these tips that I've given you so far are things that I've done. I'm a firm believer of if I'm doing something and I benefit from it, I'm gonna share. I'm not just gonna tell you things. So I have my own t-shirt company that brings in money for me. I have my design business that brings in money for me. Like March through July, it was on and popping. And then July through October, it was really dry. And I was hurting a little bit, but I still had my consistent income. And now from October to right now, I have 3 clients that I'm working with, and I have 2 more clients that I'm working with starting in December, and both of them have purchased packages that are $1,000 or more. And so it's just nice to know, like, hey, in December, I'm getting that $400 check every 2 weeks. Plus, I just made, I'm going to make $2,000 in December. So it's good to know that stuff. And then I also have a contracting business that I'm in the process of getting certified for, and that's just going to be another stream of income. So don't think too hard about what this income could be. Just think of things that you like, things that you're good at, and find a way to put a price tag to it. So right now, we're going to do a quick little recap. So we know that personal branding is all about perception. It's how the world views you and how you view yourself. It's also how you package yourself and make your traits, what you say, what you do, and who you are marketable. It's stripping your physical and leaving everything else. We also know that your personal brand can lay the foundation for you. It can establish credibility, and it can put you in a position for success. So what's so funny is that I'm talking about elevating your brand, and I'm doing something right now that's elevating my brand, and I'm hosting a webinar, something I've never done, something so far out of my comfort zone, y'all. But it's building my brand because right now I'm able to connect with you guys on a different level. It's not through a video that I post on YouTube. It's not through a blog post. It's not through my snaps or my Twitter. We are together right now, like right now in time. Like you guys are having access to me that not other people are getting. And so I'm elevating my brand because I'm building relationships with you guys, and I'm establishing authority and more credibility in the online space and for my brand. And lastly, the 3 things that we just went over to slay and elevate your personal brand is 1, purchase a domain. It's going to allow you to take control in the online space and make things more serious. Learn and become proficient in a tech-related skill that is not social media and not Microsoft Office. That's going to help you stand out against all of the other girls in whatever industry you're going that you're pursuing. And lastly, have at least one consistent stream of income and either another consistent stream of income or just other streams of income that are inconsistent. That doesn't sound like super positive, but referring back to my previous examples, that's the best way to word it. So if anybody else has joined in, hello, welcome. Please introduce yourselves down below. So if you guys really liked what I had to say and you maybe don't have your brand identified yet and you're like, Micah, what can I do next? And I'm like, girl, I got you. I have a free 5-day email course called Slay Your Brand Identity, where I help you identify your brand. And I actually have a few girls in here. So Mel, Christine, Bree, if you guys are still in here, please in the comment box below, just write down anything else that you haven't told me that maybe you want to tell any of the other girls who are in the chat box. That'd be great. And I also have some testimonials for you guys because I'm completely biased. I think my course is thebomb.com. But I want to show you guys what some other girls have said. So Courtney, she basically just said that she's tried to start a blog a few times, but my course really helped her dig deeper into her foundation and starting her brand. And she's super excited and love what the course had to offer. Treasure, she said that she really enjoyed the course and she felt that by me using my own experiences, it helped, it made it more relatable. So that's awesome. And she can't wait to purchase the full thing. Christine, she's in the chat box. Girl, natural hair flourishing. She says that I do a great job at describing the importance of branding and how it's completely changed my lifestyle. It's so weird trying to switch the words for like me and how they can benefit from it. If you're a beginner blogger like myself, this is definitely a great investment. So I want to let you guys know that you don't have to be a blogger to identify a brand. Identifying your brand it really helps you have a stronger blog. But like if you think about it, if She Is Valiant never existed, glad it did, but if it never existed, I still would have been able to complete all of the other success factors that I've done. Because if you think about it, She Is Valiant has brought me no money. And that's completely fine. I'm not complaining about it. I love She Is Valiant and I love what I do and I would do it free forever. But I'm saying like, I just want to let you know that like, you don't have to take this course or I just want to let you know that personal branding and blogging, they don't have to go together. And then here are some other ones. Amina, she just said that this course gave her a new outlook on life. And after learning everything, she's super excited to implement her brand. Zoe, she just said, I love Micah from her blog post. Oh, that's so nice. And I admire her ambition, but to see all that she's accomplished after paying attention to her brand and the final email made her want to change her life. And for the course to be free, I learned a lot and can't wait for the full course. Yay! And this one is from, I have her name blocked out because all of the other girls I showed you, they all were beta testers for my course. And so I'm just going to keep your name blocked. She knows who she is. She's in the chat box. Well, crap. I just kind of gave her out. But anyway, this is one of the most recent things I got. And it literally, I cried. I'm going to be honest. I cried when I read it because it just touched me. And so she says that she's a college student who started her blog this year. I came across her blog and shortly after was following you on every platform. Your personality and style is so close to mine. I love looking at everything you post. I'm gushing because I felt even more in love with your brand after taking your personal branding course. And I was very excited to receive an email every day. It truly did help me. I finished a few days ago, and since I've completely revamped my blog. Your course not only helped me, but inspired me as well. Your blog is a vision I have for mine, so I'm in awe every time I visit. Y'all, I cry like a little baby because like it's so cool that when you have a vision for something and the way you envision it and the way you want it to be executed and like it actually happens, it's so dope. Like it's so cool because I love, like I said, I love women empowerment, seeing women succeed. I love personal branding. I love teaching about it. I love graphic design. And so I was able to kind of encompass everything that I loved and throw it into this free email course. And I wanted to teach you guys lessons about branding, which is serious and can change your life, which is done for me. Like I am a walking testimony of identifying your personal brand. And so I wanted to educate you guys in a fun way And I wanted you guys to be excited to have an email, you know, at 10:15 every day, no, for the 5 days, not every day. And just really, you know, be excited to learn about ways to make your life better. And so the fact that she felt the way I wanted her to feel, it was amazing. It was amazing. And I added this slide in. Um, and it says, but why did the course have to end? I had my $67 ready. And girl, this just made me so happy because from a business standpoint, like you design a free course, a free email course to educate whoever you're trying to educate, and you want it to link to a paid option. I'm just being real with you guys from a business perspective. And so the fact that she was so intrigued by my email course, so moved by it, and really benefited and liked the way I taught, that she was ready to buy the course like that, that means I did my job as an entrepreneur and as a businesswoman. So it's just like every time someone signs up, every time I get feedback, I literally get so much joy and so much satisfaction that you guys are really benefiting from this. And then I'm really helping you guys. Like I'm telling you, once you guys find your passion and find your purpose and you start throwing it out there for the world to receive and they receive it, it is the best feeling. Like I am so honored that you guys are here supporting me. Like if I could hug every one of you guys, I would. But the way my computer's set up, it ain't gonna let me do that. So if you guys, if anybody's new in here, excuse me, and who hasn't taken the course, the free email course, you're going to find out what personal branding is and why it's important. You're gonna find your brand's keywords, find out how the world perceives you and if it matches your perception. You're gonna find your sweet spot and how you can infuse it into your personal brand. Excuse me. You're gonna develop an elevator pitch so you can wow the hell out of whoever you connect with. You're gonna birth your brand color so you can start adding it to your social media channels. That is a way to implement your brand, by the way. And you're gonna get an inside look on how personal branding has changed my life. The course lessons are: what the hell is personal branding? Your perception in a world full of days. Who is that girl I see? Good pitch, bad bitch, and all about the visuals, baby. And those are the course lessons for the free 5-day email course. So if you guys are like, Micah, I love this webinar. I love your personality. I love your blog. I want to identify my brand. Help me. This is the link to go to. So if somebody is in on still, if you can in the chat box, just type in www.sheisvaliant.com/SYB in the chat box. That would be greatly appreciated. So Reagan, if you're still in here, can you do that, please? Or Christine or someone, so people can get access to that. It's super easy. If you don't want to look at it right now, you can go to my Twitter and look at my media or my tweets because I'm promoting it all the time. You don't have to take the course. You can take it next week, next year, whatever. It's always going to be free. It's always going to be available. I just wanted to be able to give you guys something to do if you really enjoyed what I had to share with you guys. And so for the people who are in here, I want to give like a little sneak peek about my intensive course. So I want to say that in the emails, I did say that the course was going to be $67, but I'm adding even more stuff than I intended into the course. So the price may go up a little, but it's not going to exceed $100. I just want to put that out there. So with that course, I'm going to be giving out advice, tips, how-tos, tech tutorials. I'm going to show you guys how to actually make mood boards, how to make brand styling guides, how to do it, how to find like your brand's colors through the pictures you like. It's more personality assessments. I'm going to show you guys how to buy a domain, how to buy hosting, how to set up a blog, how to buy a theme. There are worksheets, workbooks, downloads, checklists, to-do lists. What else is there? I'm going to show you guys how to implement your brand. I'm going to show you guys how to set up a LinkedIn. I'm going to tell you what to put on a LinkedIn. I'm going to show you guys basically the perfect formula for a cover letter that has gotten me accepted to internships that are out of state, what to put on your resume. I'm giving y'all the hookup, and I'm super excited. The course is coming, the full course, full paid course, 2017, and it's also going to be access to a Facebook group. So, you know, just follow me on Twitter. I'm always updating stuff about that there. So we are at the end.